Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to work on a 2016 Suzuki King Quad. It's the 750 AXI, and I found a quick fix for a little problem that we have. We've had this King Quad for a few years. We bought it new, and the first year everything seemed to be fine, but it would stall out on you on the trail and start right up. And I looked online and I couldn't figure out what was going on. Some people talk about the fuel pump or the sock in the tank that's connected to the fuel pump. And then I ran across a post in a forum somewhere that was talking about a voltage regulator mod. And that's what we're gonna do today. I already removed these plastic pieces. They're just these little buttons, those plastic buttons that are on pretty much everything nowadays. Yeah, these plastic buttons, they're on cars and everything else. You kind of just pry them out. I should have done that, but I didn't even think this actually would work. Underneath the left side is a voltage regulator. You can see that with the cooling fins on there. On this plug that comes out of it, there's a black and white wire. Don't know if I can get that because I already put the new wire on there. And that white and black wire connects through the harness, but it seems to get smaller up here for some reason, and it goes straight to the ground. So I thought, I don't know how this mod works, but in the mod it says you take another wire that's 16 gauge and you hook it up to the negative on the battery and you run it all the way down to the voltage regulator, and I just spliced in with one of these. You should probably do a better job than I did, but I didn't really think it was going to work. Anyways, you get one of these connectors. Hold on, let me show you what those connectors look like when they're not closed. Okay, here's a connector. Basically, you run a cut wire into one hole, and then the other wire goes all the way through. Let me do this over. My thumbnail looks like shit. Okay, now that I got a pair of gloves on and my thumbnail's not so distracting. It's kind of like a saddle. It rides on the wire that you're connecting to, and then you just put another wire in the hole next to it. That's a dead end hole. And then when you smash this down, I usually take some pliers and I smash this metal piece down, and it's like a guillotine. You know, it comes down and cuts into the insulation of the wire. It makes connections, and then this part folds over the top and locks it in there. That's probably not the best fix, but that's what I used for now. So I put that saddle connector thingy or whatever. If you guys know what the name of that thing is, put it in the comments below. I don't know what the name of that connector is. And then that black wire, solid black wire that I had just laying around because I can't throw nothing away, I brought that up through here. You can see it here, and ran that straight to the ground. I think that helps the voltage regulator somehow, because the stock wire seems to go through the harness, and I think all this other stuff pigtails off of that. What was happening was every time you turned the handlebars to make a turn or something, the electric power steering, in my opinion, seemed like it would draw too much power, and it would shut off like somebody shut the ignition off. And if you're on a trail, you know, moving kind of fast, that's kind of nerve-wracking. And this is Jamie's ATV, so I don't want her to have to deal with that. By the way, that's the screw that came with the battery, and it's actually too short. Once you put this connector on here, I pull the battery all the time to charge it, so I don't have to move the ATV around, so I don't use the bracket that it holds onto here. But that bolt is a little longer. Actually, it's a little too long, so I put a little nut as a spacer and then ran that connection on top. So I'm gonna start it here and show you the difference. So when we're riding around, this is what happens when you're driving and you turn the handlebars to make a turn. It would just shut off. So that must run like all the electronics over here for the ECU and everything. Let me turn it off. I'll put that back together. Let's start it back up.
I should have left the key on long enough for the fuel pump to pressurize.
Okay, see, so it's running, right? And then when you turn this wheel or do any type of abrupt turn, it'll shut off. Of course, it's not gonna do it now. I don't know. Let me go run around with it real quick. Let me disconnect it and hook up this wire again. I'm gonna run it outside so you can see it stall. Then we'll put the wire back on and I'll run it again.
For some reason, it just doesn't want to stall. It must have to be in like mud or something to put a good load on it. So I'm gonna just put that wire back on, and I'm gonna run it like that for a while and see what happens.
Well, I ran it all day yesterday and it didn't stall with that new wire hooked up. I'm gonna keep on driving it and testing it. It doesn't seem to hurt, to try it. If it helps you and works out for you, that's awesome. It seems to have worked for us. Like I said, I'll give you an update later. Thanks for checking out the video, and keep it on the sunny side.